Hello and welcome to the Racing Gambit presented by USAWager.com on the Sports 2.0 network. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am joined by Ace. Ace, how you doing?
Very solid. We're doing this a day early for you. We're going to give you a Keeneland Friday winner, guaranteed, or all the rest of the picks are free for the rest of the year. Oh wait, this is free every day. Okay.
Yeah, so we've got some good and exciting action coming up this weekend. We're going to focus on Keeneland, and there's one race as well we're going to look at from Belmont. But we get into that. Before we get into that, we'll start with a recap from last weekend, where there's a lot going on, really. Shantisara won the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup by 5 lengths from tactical analysis. The Mean Queen won the Grand National hurdle, which I think we both knew was probably going to happen. I was really interested in this week because obviously, I'm off to Cheltenham tomorrow. I'm a huge jumps fan. Cheltenham Festival is the peak of the season for the hurdles and the jumps and anything to do with National Hunt. The Mean Queen is 14-1 to win the Mayor's Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. I was trying to find whether there's actually ever been an American trained winner at the festival, and I could not find one.
14-1 sounds pretty good. I think you hit a 14-1 winner last week, right?
I did seal away in the Champion Stakes. I mean, it went off much shorter than 14-1 in the end. I think it was around 8 in the end, but I really, really liked his chances on the back of the arc. I mean, quite disappointingly, it come out pretty quickly afterward that they will not be going to the Breeders' Cup, which I thought was pretty disappointing because I feel like it probably could have given a really good account. Mishriff come out of the race. I think he was about 4th or 5th in the end. He's drifted a little bit, but not massively. He's still 5-1 for the Breeders' Cup. But I don't think I'd be taking Mishriff on that evidence, would you?
No, and let's repeat that back. Hold on. We gave out the Chad Browns last week. We gave out Shantisara on top and the Exacta. Okay, check. You gave out a 14-1 winner overseas. Check. We picked against the Mean Queen, but we knew she was going to be the best horse in the field by far. Check. Okay, I'm interested to see what we have this week, my friend.
Yes, let's get straight into it. Then we will start with the race on the Friday, which is the Sycamore. It's a Grade 3, over 1.5 miles on the turf for 3 years old, for horses 3 years old and over. Obviously from Keeneland. I think this could be quite an interesting little race. Ace, what do you think?
I agree with you. I do think it's actually probably my favorite race of the weekend because you can go in so many different directions. You've got, I actually think it's a sandwich race, and I like the crust. I like the outside and I like the inside. I like Glenn County, Tyler Gaffaleone, Mike Maker on the rail at 7-2. And then I got to go all the way on the outside, 2 Emmys, 3-1, James Graham, McLean Robertson. I'm going to throw in a bomb for you for my 3-horse trifecta and exacta box it. And I'm going to go with another mystery. Adam Beschizza, 15-1. Chris Block trained, local trainer that I know. I think this horse is ready to roll. I'm not saying he's going to win at 15-1. Not saying that. I'm just saying I think he gets a piece.
You can tell Halloween's just around the corner with some of the names in this race, can't you? Another mystery. You got Kentucky Ghost in there, Spooky Channel. Halloween's right around the corner, but I don't fancy any of those with the very topical names. I say, I really, really like Glynn County. I feel like I'm going to go off the cliff with him. To be fair, I really, really like him. Every time I see him, I like him. But he's been back-to-back thirds now in 2 graded contests. Obviously, the Calumet Cup and then the Mr. D. But he has won at Keeneland this season as well. And I just think this is his race. I mean, I am going to keep supporting him until he finally gets that win.
I literally said the same thing to myself. I was like, man, I feel like I picked Glenn County a lot. He never wins for me. But I think this Grade 3 really does suit him well. Gaffaleone has been right. He's winning the Keeneland meet right now. He's winning a ton of races. He knows what he's doing. I think this horse gets a good trip. And yeah, you can go a lot of directions in this. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to get on Spooky Channel. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to get on Kentucky Ghost. Both nice 8-1 horses who they win sometimes, and then other times they just don't show up. But I'm going to sandwich it. I'm going to go with your Glenn County 2 Emmys on the outside, and then another mystery, the 10. 1, 10, 12.
Yeah,
Something like
I think out of them, I think Kentucky Ghost is the one that probably appeals. I think is it Rafael Bajaro. He's striking at 33% in stakes races at Keeneland this season, and I think that's a pretty incredible record. To be fair,
it.
and then Kentucky Ghost is 2 from 7, so it does win.
Correct. And the other thing is, and this is what I love, you bet a horse with the name Kentucky in Kentucky, he's not going off at 8-1. He's going to be like the second favorite somehow at like 7-2 or 4-1. So if you can get 8-1, bet it now. But realistically, I think that price is going to go down. And yeah, Bejarano's had some nice stakes wins at Keeneland, beating like, and those are on days when like Irad and Jose ship in. So watch out.
Yeah, it's quite interesting there because obviously we talked about Glynn County, and you've also got 2 Emmys in here. They both finish second or third, or they always finish really, really well, which means you probably are open to picking somebody at a bit of a bigger price here. But my problem is you've got horses like Breakpoint, Solo Volante, Rise the Guy, and another mystery in here that just don't win races.
Yeah. But we also got to look at the fact that it's a grade 3, right? Like, you've got Glenn County coming out of better. You've got 2 Emmys coming out of better. You just hope that their class carries them through, right?
Yeah. So where are you going to land on that one then?
1, 12, 10, exact trifecta box. Wheel them all day long. Glenn County and 2 Emmys are going to be there. It's just who else is going to be there with them.
Yeah, I'm Glynn County all the way. I'm going off the cliff with him. So we go on to the Raven Run now, which is again at Keeneland, but this time on the Saturday. It's a grade 2 over 7 furlongs on the dirt, and it's for the 3-year-old fillies. Again, I think this is a really, really interesting race, Ace. But yeah, again, it could go in a few different directions. We've got a field of 13 that have declared for this. It's a big old field.
It is a big old field, and it's a really deep field. I have a problem, and my problem is with you and Glenn County. I'm the same way with Super Sensational. This horse just doesn't win for me. They're right there every time, and they just don't win. I like them in this race. I like that they're going 7 furlongs. I know they haven't performed well at 7 furlongs. Who did you land on here?
Yeah, I think Super Sensational. She does catch your eye when you're just looking at the form. Obviously, she's been second now in back-to-back starts, and she was beaten by a horse in this field not too long ago in Silla, and but yeah, I still landed on Super Sensational, and I feel like I'm just kind of drawn back to it all the time. But this is a first start at Keeneland as well. I think we're going to be kind of placing a lot on her, and she's probably going to go off the favourite as well.
I think she's going to go off as the favorite. I know we mentioned Tyler Gaffaleone on Silla. He's winning a lot of races. That would not surprise me either if there's a back-to-back winner there. I mean, Silla's won 3 in a row. All stakes races. It's not bad form coming in, right?
Yeah, but I think one of them was at Monmouth anyway, wasn't it? So
yeah, toss that one out. But true. But then you've also got some new shooters coming in, right? Like we mentioned Bejarano in stakes races. His one, Shalimar Gardens, broke the maiden last time out of Belmont going a mile, at a $90,000 level. That seems like an interesting horse if you're like, I wonder if someone can just go to the lead and hold on here, right? You've also got Strong Silent, similar path, won a maiden and then won a nice allowance at Churchill Downs. I know Churchill Downs has a huge speed bias, and if you go to the front, you'll probably hang on. But that looked like an impressive winner. There's a lot of different ways you can go. The same with the 9, I'm going to butcher this name, Zaina Larab with John Velasquez. You win a maiden, you take a second and a nice allowance, then you win an allowance, $100,000 allowance, which is basically stakes level company. There's a lot of options you can go.
Yeah. Like you said, I think Just Read It. I think is someone in here that could be kind of interesting. She's been away for 7 months, So like she's getting chucked in here. But she did win the Cicada Stakes at Aqueduct. Aqueduct? Is that how you pronounce it? In March. And she's 2 from 3. So I think she comes in here. She's going to come at a sizable price.
Yeah.
But I feel like she's going to need maybe one run to get back up to speed. And that's the only concern that I would have with her.
I'm with you. If you're an exotic player, this is like a dream for you. You're going to get horses at 8 to 10 to 1 that have won stakes races before. And if you like the angle of whatever you're looking at, I'm all for you. Speed really hasn't been holding as much on the dirt as it has seemed to earlier in the meet. So, you got a lot of these speed demons. You might be looking for someone who's going to come from a little bit off it, and I wouldn't blame you. It's going to be a really interesting race.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think we kind of dismissed Woodbine form last week. Miss Speed isn't here. I think she could probably go off fairly short. She's won 3 from 4. She won the Duchess Stakes last time as well. I think that is fairly decent form coming into here, purely because it could go in any direction.
I'm not taking a horse from Woodbine if you paid me. If you made the bet for me, I still wouldn't be happy about it. No, thank you.
I know we've got this far without even talking about obligatory, and
I know.
I think she's a pretty quality performer at graded level.
She is, and I mean, how can you be mad at a horse that loses to Claire and Bella Sofia, right? Like you can't. Like they're great horses. They're going to be in the Breeders' Cup, and they're going to be, well, one's going to probably be second choice. I think both will be probably second choice in their races, which you can't blame a horse for taking second to those monsters. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting race. I'm really excited for it. I'm sorry that we don't have the odds for you just yet because they're not out yet, but I think Super Sensational Obligatory are going to be the two favorites realistically, and then it's where do you find a price, because there's going to be a lot of good prices in this race.
Yeah, I think obligatory being in stall 13 might be enough to just put me off her in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to draw me back into Super Sensational being back down in 3. And I think that's what kind of swings it for me. But I'm just looking for some value in there. And I think I'll take a chance on Strong Silent, who I think could probably go quite well here. Obviously, we talked about the Churchill Downs allowance win. And I just think there's going to be more to come from this one.
It's definitely a possibility, right? And yeah, if you're going to take, like, I would, to your point, I would mix in some experience like we have with someone who's really fresh, got 3 wins under their belts. I think it's a nice way to go. So we're both seem to land on Super Sensational, but who else comes with it is going to be the tough part, right?
Yeah, and I think I'll be taking on Strong Silent with that one. And who are you going with?
I'm going to go, yeah, I know that's going to be short. I'm probably going to go, because they can come off the pace, I'm going to probably go Scylla, Super Sensational, and then I'll probably take Bejarano on Shalimar Gardens. Breaking her maiden by 11 3/4 lengths is impressive. And so I think this horse has figured it out. So I'm probably going to go, that direction.
Yeah, there we go then. Hopefully there's at least one winner in there for you. So we'll move on now to the final race we're going to look at from Keeneland, the Perryville Stakes. It's over 7 furlongs in the dirt, over for 3-year-olds. There's a couple of 3-year-olds returning in here from Triple Crown races. You've got Super and Sandwich making his first return since the Kentucky Derby. You've got Ram in here, who was also in the Preakness. I find it quite hard to be too excited about this one.
This one's a really tough race. When I was handicapping it, I said to myself, Soup and a Sandwich is going to take a lot of money. Ram is going to take a lot of money. And then there's a lot of horses that are just, they're at that lower stakes level, which is where this is. But there's no one that's just a world beater that's just like, oh, I have to put this horse into this race, right? With that, I think I'm going to go with a theme here. I do think Soup and a Sandwich with Tyler Gaffleone from the rail, I think they're just going to go. And I don't see anyone catching up with this horse's class, realistically. I think Soup Sandwich goes to the lead at a short price and wins and returns to form. if you look at their last 4 workouts, this horse is moving 4 and 47, 4 and 46, 5 and 59, and then his latest one getting this to just a nice 5 furlongs in a minute. I think this horse is ready to just run.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he responds. Like after so long away from the track. So it's been 5 months since the Kentucky Derby. I mean, you can just scratch that altogether, can't you?
Yeah, you can completely toss it. And
he was so good in the Curling Florida Derby, wasn't he? In the prep where he was second.
Correct. He looked so good there. He looked very promising. And there's nothing to me that says what I really like about this race for him is it's 7 furlongs. We don't have to go a championship distance first out. We just have to go a little more than our workouts show that we can do, right? I think from the rail, Gaff is just going to go. And I think everyone else is just going to be like, okay, we'll try and catch up with him. But I just don't see it. And even better, if he just gets that pocket trip, if he, like, for example, sits behind, like, I think Boca Boy is going to go to the lead if he's fast enough. He's been coming out of 5.5 and 6 furlong races. If Boca Boy gets the lead and Gaff just sits in the pocket and then just comes outside and takes him by, I think this race is it's pretty straightforward. You mentioned Ram, and we talked about Bejarano. The immortal D. Wayne Lucas trains Ram. This horse just fell way back last time and closed in for a very nice third at Churchill Downs. And as we talked, no one's closing at Churchill Downs. It's like you go to the lead, you win. That's really interesting to see a horse come from that far back to show in a 7 furlong race at Churchill. So that would be my second choice, but I think he's also going to be second choice in the betting.
Yeah, I think the thing that puts me off with Soup and Sandwich is very similar to the horse that we spoke about in the last race, I think it was. There's been so long in between races. And I mean, like, he could be training perfectly well at home, but, like, you don't know how he's going to perform on the day, do you really? I think you've got here's my honey badger in here. I think he's going to go off pretty short as well. It's 3 from 8 this season, but he was second in the Harold's Creek last time. This is his first start in graded company. That's another favourite I'd just be ignoring. Like, I'm looking for something with a bit of value in here, I think. Because I think, again, it's a big field, and I think there could be something in here which just springs a surprise. I landed on Pipeline for Chad Brown because he returned after a 2-month break looking very, very fresh at Saratoga, winning with a speed figure of 99. And then he was a speed figure of 108 earlier in the season. And John Velasquez is on board. Brown's got a good record in stakes races at Keeneland as well. He's on 29% this season. And I just think with a bit of value, obviously we don't know the odds. We don't know how high or short Pipeline's going to go off. But with the money coming in for Soup and Sandwich and Ram, because they're the kind of like more well-known horses in here, I think Pipeline could be a decent play.
I'm with you. It's interesting to see what, like, this horse came from a bit off the pace at 7 furlongs. 122, pretty darn good time for those 7 furlongs. I wouldn't blame you going there at all. He's got better times than he's a honey badger, so, and probably better times than Ram. Yep. So realistically, I wouldn't blame you one bit going in that direction.
There we go. That's my pick then for the Perryville. Where you landing, Ice? Soup and Sandwich?
I'm sticking with the theme here. I don't know what soup or what sandwich, but I like super sensational soup and a sandwich.
There we go then. And then we'll conclude with our last race we're going to look at, which is the Hill Prince at Belmont Park. It's a grade 2 over 1 1/8 miles on the turf. It's for the 3-year-olds. I feel like we've got a bit of a theme going on this week, Ace, because this is another wide open field which could go in any one of 5 or 6 directions.
Yeah, and I mean we're talking about turf at Belmont, and we have not one, not two, but three Chad Brown horses here. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an Ortiz Brothers Exacta, Jose and Chad, and Irad and Chad. I think Public Sector, the 9, is going to be an overwhelming favorite. I think he's the best horse in the field, realistically. And from there, I think Soldier Rising is another interesting horse. Joel Rosario, Christophe Clement. Rosario's been winning everywhere, but in New York, it took him a while. He was actually like 1 for 30 at some point in time recently at Belmont, but like he won half the races at Kentucky Downs and ships everywhere and wins. I'm going to probably go 9-11, never forget, Public Sector over Soldier Rising.
Yeah, I think the one brown horse we haven't mentioned there was Sifting Sands. He's 3 from 4 this season. I think this race could be kind of teed up for him, but I'm not going to go there. I'm just making a case for Sifting Sands. I thought he was very impressive last time as well, but I landed on Soldier Rising. He hasn't won in America yet, but I think he's 2 seconds. The first of the Saratoga Derby, and then again in the Belmont Derby, or the Jockey Club Derby, I should say, were very, very impressive pieces of form. And he's not going to come up against a horse of the caliber of Yibia in here.
Yeah.
So if he's at that sand level again, I think he just takes all the beating here, unless someone just completely runs from the back of him, like we saw on that day at Belmont. Because I think like his Belmont form, I think the track is kind of perfectly suited for him, and I just think this is kind of his moment.
I'm with you. It's hard to look at a Chad horse who's 3 for 4, but Manny Franco's on board. No, thank you. Sorry, Manny, you're not my guy. Irad and Chad on Public Sector, Rosario Clement, Soldier Rising. I like your 11 as well. I just think Irad is special, and him and Chad, when they team up, they usually win.
Yeah, I think one of the other kind of interesting ones, which is, I guess, could go off quite big because the last time out is Original. So he failed to finish in the Grade 2 National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame, but his form at Belmont isn't half bad. He won the Mamla Stakes here in July, and I think on that kind of form, he could be thrown into the mix here.
I don't disagree because, like we've talked about, it's kind of a wide open race. It's hard for me to pick someone, to your point, who might have looked good about 4 months ago, but really hasn't had the form since. But at the same time, weirder things have happened. It's turf racing. That's what's great about it.
So where you landed on there? Then you're going with Public Sector?
Yeah, Public Sector, Soldier Rising, 9-11, and I'll throw the other. I'll throw Founder in there. I know he's not the best, but you know what? Jose Ortiz and Chad Brown. It's always the other Chad Brown. So I think I'm going to go 4, 9, 11.
Yeah, you might as well just cover all 3 of them. All 3 brown horses. You probably have the winner there.
I'm not betting Manny Franco. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I think I'll be playing Soldier Rising and Original in there, I think. Because I got a feeling about Original. I think something about Belmont just brings out the best in him.
Okay. I don't blame you one bit.
So we'll conclude then with our best bets for the weekend. Ace, where are you going for your best bets?
My best bet of the weekend is, I don't think I'm going to go that far out on a limb here. I like Super Sensational. I do. I think they find their form. I think they win against a tough group. Sometimes when you look at a race like that, you're like, oh, I want to take everyone. Anything can happen. I might pick 3, and then the favorite wins. I just see the favorite winning that race. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with Pipeline. I think Pipeline is going to be really, really good value in that race. I mean, it's hard not to say Glencairn's my best bet because I feel like this is definitely the weekend we actually get that win.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, after this weekend, we got some Breeders' Cup stuff coming our way. We actually have very strong opinions in a lot of those races. So hopefully we make a little bit of a bankroll way this weekend to lead into the next 2 weekends of racing.
Yeah, and obviously we are actually doing 2 shows for the Breeders' Cup. So we have one, which is going to be a preview for the Friday, and then the second show, which is previewing all the huge races taking place on the Saturday. And I don't think we can both wait, can we, really?
Can't wait for them. I literally can't wait for them. It's 6 a.m. where I am, but it doesn't matter. I'm super excited for them.
Yeah, and well, that rounds off this week's show anyway. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Ace, for your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Sports 2.0 Network. And we'll be back probably on Friday next week for a look at the weekend action then. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye.